Well, welcome everyone to the ATX DAO Podcast. We are excited to chat with y'all today. So we have just a roundtable with the pod team. So we got Tom and Ash. Welcome, guys.
Hey, guys.
Good to be here. Missing out, having some FOMO taking this remotely. But yeah, good to chat as always.
Yeah, all good, all good. And I like your background. So we got some nice art back there. So yeah, it's good stuff. Different than ours. So our normal recording room was not available today. So we are in a different spot. So hopefully this looks good on camera. But yeah, so what's going on, guys? How have y'all been?
A little up and down, a little sideways action, peaks and valleys, kind of trying to bring it back to normal, a normal sine curve of a way, I guess, but hanging in there. But yeah, how about you guys?
Doing good. So a little bit of a crazy day today. Had 15 meetings.
Yeah.
Or will have a total of 15. I think I have like 5 after this.
Oh dear God.
But it's been good. It's been really good stuff. So just getting a lot of stuff launched with a lot of different things. So yeah. But how about you, Tom?
All is well over here. I mean, I'm sure things are outside of the busy calendar. Things are going well in Avalanche land. Saw some Blockworks research charts that were swirling around on X, talking about some of the craziness over this past week or so. But yeah, after FOMC meeting yesterday, some exciting times ahead.
Yep, no, for sure.
Yeah, the markets are showing major price momentum, right? Like it's all trending up and to the right, which is kind of great. Really hoping that they kind of take the chain off a little bit. And Powell's like, you know what? I'm going to go play 18 holes of golf for the next every day for the next few months and let the rate cuts do the work. That's always good for our markets. But who knows?
Yep, for sure. So I think so I've been a little bit heads down working on some stuff. So I think I talked about on the show. So we just launched a website with some things that I'm doing with Team One. And so that's kept me very busy. So I have not been very active on crypto Twitter. Catch me up, guys. What's going on in the space? What do I need to know with the space there?
Tom, we're going to dig right into it. I know right before we hit recording, we were just chatting about like everything that's happening. Tom is like in the trenches with crypto Twitter, bro. Tell me what's up. This is where we need to ask.
Yeah, right. Between doom scrolling during the day, trying to keep up with it all. And it's like, honestly, I feel like we're at that point where it's just so hard to keep up. There's, a million things going on within every different ecosystem. One thing that I think was certainly exciting to hear from finally was the generic listing guidance from the SEC. So from my current understanding, I believe that it essentially opens up the floodgates for the, outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum, the long tail risk of crypto assets to start getting these ETF approvals over the coming month or so. I keep on hearing mid-October, whether that's realistic or not, I guess that's TBD. But it's certainly an exciting time for these upcoming ETF listings, potentially in Q4.
Dogecoin ETF coming soon, huh?
So funny enough, I think Doge actually launched today. We're recording on September 18th. And I saw some I've been following Eric Balchunas, who's one of the main guys at Bloomberg following all of the ETF madness within crypto. And I think he initially said over under is going to be 2 million for the initial inflows for day one. And over lunchtime, he said that there was already over 6 million in volume. So he's like, what the hell do I know? Everyone's buying Doge. So if you got significant size coming into a Doge ETF, I mean, buckle up for Solana and Avalanche and Chainlink.
Yeah. I mean, Doge is the people's currency, right? Like, cute dog, hilarious meme, storied history. So yeah, I mean, I like to your point, right? Like with the new regulations that are coming out, when we were chatting earlier, also like, this administration seems to be kind of like more forward thinking, which is always positive, right? Especially for emerging technology stacks. And, as Luke said, like, it's like, dude, like they're starting to realize it's like small to medium sized businesses are actually using this technology and we're actually innovating on this technology stack. And that also further doubles down in their realization that like, holy cow, there's actually people associated with this thing that are doing real things. Some of it is kind of hilarious, but like, you know, if the market wants it, the market wants it. And if we can organize it and just make sure that we have some safeguards for this, like this is great. We should give it to the people. So yeah, man, I'm kind of stoked. Like the future looks very fucking bright. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, yeah, what you're talking about. So the SEC actually brought some folks in for just an information gathering session, just to kind of hear their perspective and that kind of thing. Some of our past guests from the show, the Exgoba teams, Chris and Candice, had a chance to be a part of that, and I thought it was really cool. So just to see that, like Ash was saying, so just the opportunity to realize that not everyone building in this space is trying to build an illegal gambling site, or whatever else. Like there's actual like real problems being solved. So it's cool to see that happening. Really eager to see like the outcome of that. Like does that give different perspectives than they've had before? Maybe they were already along those lines before. So just really promising to see. So I think it's a first step to seeing more and more people actually build here, because I think the problem we've had over the last several years is the only people that would build in this space are the ones that were willing to risk things. And sometimes when you're solving a real problem, you don't want to risk something by just trying to solve that problem. You'll find another way to do it. So hopefully it just means more adoption of the tech.
Yeah, I just saw this thing. I'm just looking at Bloomberg right now. It seems like there's also they're weighing in candidates for the CFTC as well for the nominee there. And one of them on the short list is from A16Z Crypto. The other one is from Digital Assets, Galaxy Digital. So it's kind of crazy. We might have a pro CFTC and SEC kind of nominee that like favors digital assets and is like forward thinking, which is huge, right? Because like these are like both these organizations regulate markets, which are like multi-billion trillion-dollar markets, right? The CFTC with commodities and derivatives products and so on and so such, and the SEC with equities itself, and ETFs. It's like, so this would be fucking insane. Like, yeah, like 9 months into this administration, lots of interesting, good and negative news along with things that are happening in society and, stuff. But like, so far as crypto is concerned, like I'm seeing nothing but green lights all the way down, all the way up to the sunset, right?
Yeah.
Like all the way up to the moon, like this is, I'm excited.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. But Tom, what else is happening on crypto Twitter that we should weigh in on? Like, tell me what else is on the doom scrolling agenda that you've gone through.
Well, so one thing that I've been closely following is Solana DATs. So, personally heavily invested within Solana, and over the past couple of weeks, there's been several announcements of new DATs that have been coming in. So there's Forward Industries with Calcimani, Galaxy, and Jump leading the charge there. You also announced, I believe, Cathie Wood is getting involved with a UAE vehicle. I forget the name off the top of my head. And then Pantera Capital is also coming in with another several $100 million raise for a Solana DAT vehicle. So, this past week, it's just been announcement after announcement of, couple $1 billion coming in to these DAT vehicles. And it's just exciting to watch unfold. And I think part of the calculus that I've had within my framework of how I'm viewing things is if you're a company and you just have a large balance sheet, why would you not want to have a vehicle like Solana where you can go and stake something and earn a 7, 8, 9% yield, where that's, twice the yield you would be earning if you just hold cash. And so that's something I've always positioned in the back of my head of, all right, as you see the success that MicroStrategy has, like, why would that not take place within Ethereum? Why would that not take place within Solana, within Avalanche, within all these proof of stake networks? So it's just really exciting to watch it unfold in real time. And yeah, I don't think we're anywhere near the top. I think these are just going to keep on getting announced.
Yep. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. One question I have related to that, just for both of y'all, is just in terms of validating a network. Do y'all run any validators on any network, or like?
Yeah. So we're just starting up that process actually. Not for something primarily that I work on, but just like on the side for a new chain that's coming along, just to like explore exactly what it's like. But yeah, it's kind of it has its own headaches. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
But exciting.
Yeah, because I'm just kind of curious. So I think like for a long time that was the way that you would earn that yield is by staking and then running your validator in that way. But now I feel like more and more we see folks that just don't want to handle that part themselves and they'll allocate to something else like a Coinbase or like staking with somebody else that's validating. I'm just kind of curious if we'll see that be more of the case over time, or if people like actually are excited about being a part of like securing the network themselves with that.
I don't know. My thought is like, I think like, and this kind of goes back to that consumer kind of grade conversation that we had in previous pod. I think a majority of users would want to come in there and then basically use protocols that are very consumer facing, right? And then find the advantages there. And then there's going to be a bunch of them that might be like, okay, I'm going to go look into the infrastructure itself. And as long as the operability for like the barrier to run a node or provide security to the actual chain is so dumbed down, like to the fact that a golden retriever brain like me can like basically be like, oh yeah, I can fucking run this. And it becomes like so ubiquitous that you can run it on any kind of hardware. There's not specialized hardware requirements. There's not like huge OpEx requirements. It's like you don't need to keep watching this shit for breaking. Because if it breaks, obviously you're losing out on yield.
Yep.
Right. And then you're damaging like obviously the chain and other protocols that are dependent on your stuff. Like if that becomes easier, then yeah, I think that, people will take that step. But I think the first step is like still like, I think like a lot of it has to just come with like people being enamored on the larger consumer grade of things to just come in through the instrumentation and be like, oh, I get more yield.
Yeah.
Like to Tom's point and your point, it's like, oh, like why would I fucking put my money in my bank account and get I have to beg them to give me like 1% yield or 2% yield, where I can go put it on like anything else that is this. Even the safest thing is like put it on a stable coin. I get like 5% yield. I mean, the markets are ripping, like it gets even higher, right? Like, and it's like USDC and USDT. So I think that's the first step. And then also the other stuff is like the instrumentation, like the ETF exposure, commodities exposure, equities exposure that are all there. Like Robinhood is, put on what, like a few weeks ago, they were in France. They made the announcement where there was like, oh yeah, we're putting OpenAI on here. So you can tokenize that equity asset on there. And it's kind of huge, right? That's like a breakthrough kind of that's there. And I think from there, they'll just go in and then start being like, let me get involved more into like looking at how I can support and add yield on top of my additional instrument exposure or usage exposure of just using a protocol or a chain.
Yes.
I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
Some other news that came out this week, actually, I believe earlier today, Coinbase announced that you can now stake your USDC within DeFi natively through the Coinbase app. And I think the initial yield is like 10%. So we're not talking about a, 10% difference. You're quite literally talking about a 100x difference in the yield that you would make from your traditional bank account and earning, 0.1% to now earning 10% through your USDC, all through Coinbase. So I think that's super exciting. And another, exciting tidbit about Coinbase this week, they announced I believe their phrasing was, we are exploring a base token.
Yep.
So curious to hear your guys' thoughts, whether they're trying to incentivize activity on the base chain, teasing an airdrop. I'll share one theory I have initially, which is, Coinbase can come out and say they're exploring this base token, sort of incentivize activity on their chain. And a year later, they can be like, oh, well, we explored it. We had a couple ideas, but ultimately it fell through given the difficulty of having, base chain revenue go to this publicly traded entity in Coinbase. And where does that fall through with creating a token? And they can be like, all right, we're not going to move forward with releasing a base token. So curious to hear your guys' thoughts of if you think a base token will actually launch, and if you guys have any thoughts as far as timing of that announcement.
I think they will launch one. So what my first reaction when I saw that was, okay, when are they going to stop being an L2 and just launch their own chain? Like I don't like it. Like with the scale that Coinbase has and with the adoption they've had on base, I don't know. I don't really know like why they would continue to be an L2 when like they can stay an AVM chain and just become their own thing. I know they make a crap ton of money having it structured the way they are, and maybe that's why they keep it that way. But that was just my first thought: is okay, well, why do they need a token if they're an L2? Um, and maybe that means that they're considering more than they're saying. So, yeah, that was my initial thought. I don't know if there's anything to it, but that's what popped in my head.
So I think, I don't know. I'm kind of split on this one. Traditionally, every single chain has their own token, right, for their gas purposes. But I wonder if it clutters the message itself, right? Because they've had great success without a token for their chain, right? Like Base arguably is one of the most successful chains to launch in a bear market and is killing it, right? Like,
Yep.
like Jesse and Willie from the DAO are doing stuff on there,
Yep.
right? And I know of other people that have been part of that super builder program over there and stuff like that. And they're doing absolutely great. And Jesse from Base literally is evangelizing Base all across the world. He's been a great steward of it and, captaining that ship. So I really wonder if it adds value to launch a token, right? In terms of consumer and retail mechanics, I think that, yeah, like it's kind of huge. Like people will come on there, they'll start using it more, and possibly that could like yield like that could result in like maybe an airdrop allocation. But I'm like, dude, your tech is like working great and it's doing its job. Like, why muddle it? Like, just focus on this one vertical of like growing more utility around the chain, making it more accessible to everybody. Focus on like the instrumentation that can reach a larger audience. And like, that's the big directive, right? So I don't know. Like, and if they do launch a token, I actually don't know when they would launch it. Like, I feel like all the new, the big crypto conferences are kind of now, right? Like KBW is next week, tokens in a few weeks after that. Like, so yeah, I'm trying to figure out when that would create the most buzz, but who knows? Coinbase is big enough and Base is big enough for them to just start their own conference and then like have like a
Yeah.
base, you have WWDC for
Yeah, for
Apple.
Apple.
Yeah, they could just do that. Like, I mean, they could easily spin that up themselves because they have enough clout and respect in the entire industry to basically spin that up, and then maybe they launch it on that. But I really don't know. Yeah, they missed the good date, which was April 20th. So, 420 would have been a great, great launch point. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really interesting seeing like all the stuff that Coinbase is doing. Like the other thing I was thinking about too is like they're basically becoming a bank.
Yeah.
Like they have a credit card now.
Yeah.
And it's one that I've considered looking into as well. I think that I would prefer it to be a Visa versus an Amex, but overall it's kind of a neat um thing to like not have to even convert your like if you're going to use the cards like for regular everyday things, you can pay in crypto as long as it's on Coinbase. So yeah.
Actually, to that point, I think that if they are transitioning to more of a payments thing, I could see like why they could have a token on Base. Because like the future is like agentic access to like protocols itself by you just giving it permission for an agent to like basically take care of your wallet and perform a certain set of actions or automatically allocate, rebalance itself. In that case, having a native gas, like having a token that pays down in that gas, because these agents are like bots, right? They're just going to be pinging it constantly. And in that case, like you are just like, it's more effective for you to like profit off of that. Because I know I was in a developer call with them, like I think like 3-4 weeks ago. They were doing this 402 stuff, which is basically using like HTTP stuff. It's like legacy tech, but like it allows for like payments for agents to go via 402s and hit these different protocols. In that case, it might line up really well. I mean, it never even dawned on me until like you just literally mentioned that. I think Coinbase is, if I was to look at it from a dumb guy perspective across the space and crypto Twitter, I'd say Coinbase is in the lead for doing on-chain banking more so than any other exchange in the United States. Yeah, like more than Paxos, more than Kraken, all this kind of good stuff. Like they're just way ahead in the lead. And they have I think that they have a very interesting systemic approach too, because like they have their ventures arm, they have Coinbase, they have Base, they're really well diversified. They have like the Coinbase mafia spins out like really good founders out of them. Yeah, man, like really those guys have like owned that whole fucking area of the game.
Yeah.
So
And their business model, it's been exciting to watch how it's transformed over the past few years. Because I remember, Brian Armstrong a few years ago, they were so dependent on, their transaction fees for all of their trading that made up the vast majority of their revenue. And I believe now close to, if not the majority of their revenue is coming from their recurring plans, whether that's Coinbase One, whether that's Coinbase Preferred. You pay this monthly fee, you get some free gas, you get some 24/7 support, you get all these different perks and benefits for being a Coinbase One member. And I think that's also a part of getting the Coinbase credit card. You need to pay your $50 annual fee, and that gives you access to having that Coinbase card, which I actually did just get. So excited to start using that one a little bit.
Does it get you access to like the Centurion Club if you go to like an airport or something like that? Or is it, I didn't see, I looked under like FAQs. I couldn't see like what actual perks it gets. I know it does come with some MX perks, like access stuff. I just didn't know if that was one of them. If you tell me yes,
the exact same question. I was trying to dig through their site. I was like, I can't find it. So I had no idea. Might just need to show up and, try to figure it out. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So in unrelated to crypto news, I've been like trying to figure out how to get myself access to airline clubs, because once you go into one, it's like, oh my God, how have I not been in these forever? But Austin has a really nice one. The Delta Sky Lounge is really nice. So I've been eyeing they have one that's specific to them, but if I can get a Coinbase MX card and get access to that would be the sweet spot.
yeah, so I just looked it up. So apparently, okay, so this is really nice. Actually, no foreign transaction fees. That's good. And 4% back on all purchases paid in Bitcoin, which is also great.
It is. So you do have to have a certain balance with Coinbase in order to get that. You start at 2%. By the way, this podcast is not sponsored by Coinbase, but Coinbase, if you would like to give us complimentary 4% Bitcoin back because of our promotion of the site, feel free to do so.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Too bad, Kraken. You can't sponsor us anymor.
So yeah, I mean, we'll talk about the Crack app if they want to throw some Bitcoin at us.
I know, right? Yeah, but like I'm seeing, it doesn't say anything about airport stuff. But yeah, I mean, I like the non-foreign transaction fee, because that's the thing that I absolutely hate. I always get hit with that whenever I'm fucking traveling, and it's just the worst. But the Bitcoin thing is pretty good, right? So I think that it's like you get 4% back if your assets are up to 200K or beyond. And then you get 2% cash back if your Coinbase assets are 10K or less.
Okay.
So, everyone would qualify for the 2% almost immediately. And 2% back in Bitcoin is pretty fucking nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Card-wise, yeah, like I'm going to have to sign up for this. This is not great. This is another thing on my like never-ending to-do list of shit to like fucking take care of. Thanks, you fuckers.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah. What else do we want to catch up on?
Okay. We're going to say one last thing on the Coinbase. What's this trend going on with the cropping the banner? Y'all seen that on crypto Twitter?
No, what is that?
So they keep posting this thing like they need help cropping this image for the banner. And it's like a square image or a normal one. So for Coinbase, they were trying to do a picture of Brian Armstrong.
Yeah.
And their crop was just the top of his bald head.
Oh, that's perfect.
It's but there's several of them. Like if you search for cropping on crypto Twitter, you'll see like every brand out there has done that in some funny way.
Dude, that could be a new NFT meme. It's like bald caps for everybody, like Brian Armstrong caps.
Yeah.
Just a bald hat. He's like the Dana White of crypto, but like less TRT, less aggro.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's wild. I did not know about that.
Yeah. Check that out.
Yeah, I don't know where that started, but I've been seeing that on the timeline, and it's definitely it's a good giggle. Because I've seen some pretty great ones.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Well, it's been good, fun catching up. I know it's a little shorter episode, but good to always catch up and stuff.
Yeah, we're getting back in the swing of things. I'm glad Tom was front of camera last week on the DAO roundtable.
Yeah.
He's too much of a beauty to like keep behind the camera. He's definitely got a face for on camera.
That's right.
Don't make me blush over here, man. But
cool. Awesome, guys. Well, it's been fun. Good episode. And yeah, we'll catch everyone in the next one.
Later, y'all.